Welcome back to my Lemmings United level solving commentary, and today we are going to continue with the tension rank, starting with tension 21, Dragon Slayer.
Let's go!
Okay, this one wasn't too difficult, but at the same time it's not really easy either, as I've been saying with a lot of those. So the first thing I do is I assign the first two lemmings to be floaters. And then I hold back the crowd with a blocker by blocking the third lemming. Okay, this as it is right now is black height, so we would need to create a platform for the crowd so that they survive the fall. Okay, and then with the first lemming that turns back to the left, I also make him a climber. So now he is the athlete. So athlete is a term in the Lemmings games in which it refers to lemmings that have at least two permanent skills. Although in the original Lemmings, it simply referred to any lemming that is both a climber and a floater. So perhaps that's something that I should have expanded upon in my first video of the series. I believe I mistakenly said that it refers to a lemming that's both a climber and a floater. Well, that is true for the original Lemmings game, but in Neo Lemmings, there's more than two permanent skills. And so when that happens, athlete just simply refers to any lemming that has any of those two permanent skills. So not necessarily just a floater and a climber. Okay, so once the climber reaches the top of this like land area here, yeah, you start stacking. So this will create the platform for the crowd. Okay, and this also allows the climber to climb back out instead of being stuck in between the stack and the pillar. Okay, the climber is going to proceed to go on ahead. Okay, and then we mine down in such a way so that the crowd can use the miner tunnel to go up the level. Okay, and then just before he falls into the water, we block. And then with the other floater, we start bashing. Oh, and skipped a little too far ahead that time. And then just before he bashes through everything, we will cancel the basher mid-stroke so that he has a staircase to step up. Okay, and then when we get up here, we're gonna build up to here. Okay, so there's the striking statue here that is surrounded by two dragon traps. And if you look at the skills that we have left, you will realize that we only have a basher and two builders left. Yep, but this area right here as it is, if we were to just build over these two dragon traps with one builder each, then we wouldn't have any builder left for the end. And so to get around that, we're going to go ahead and use the ceiling at the top here. So we're going to build here. And then this allows us to bash across. Okay, so this bypasses the first dragon trap and will land us on top of this dragon statue here. And then when this lemming falls off the statue, it is just enough to avoid the trigger area of the second dragon trap here. If I turn on CPM, for example, yeah, this is the trigger area of the dragon trap. So therefore, he just falls past it, and therefore the trap does not activate and kill him. So this is all just a way to get past both dragon traps while having to spend a builder to get over each one. Okay, and then of course we build to the exit, and that's it. And now all that's left to do is to release the blocker over here with a walker. So this will release the crowd, and we have to save everyone here. But before we release the blocker here, we have to make sure all the crowd turns around first. Okay, now we can go ahead and release the blocker with two walkers. One to release the blocker, and then another one to turn him around. So basically when releasing a blocker with a walker, essentially the lemming will continue walking in the direction it was walking in before it became a blocker. That's the reason why we needed to give it a walker twice. And that's it. Alrighty, next one. Tension 22, Mine Shell.
Let's go.
Oop, I let the let's go sound went off.
Let's go.
Alrighty, Mine Shell, it was a roadblock at first, but that was due to me missing the trick that was required at this beginning part here. So the first thing I do with the first lemming that walks out to the right is bash. Here I ended up bashing at the base of the ramp. So this is also to avoid this spinning fire trap. Okay, and I bash in such a way so that at the end of the tunnel, I cancel the basher with a walker so that there's one tiny pixel hole here. So this will have the following effect. The lemming that steps up and builds will seal up that gap so that no one else can go past. Only the builder can. So this pretty much gives us our working lemming for the level. So now that we had that, we build twice over this gap. And then similarly for this gap, we also build twice. Okay, and then this grabbing hand trap, we're gonna dig before it. Build up here, of course. Also build up here. Okay, bash, so that we don't walk into these spike traps. The spike trap, the spike pit, I should say. Build up here. Okay, bash on across. Okay, bash underneath the trap here. Build across. Okay, bash underneath this trap. And then here, all we just have is a miner and a basher left. But here we need to turn around and bash the one-way wall to release the crowd. So in order to do that, we need to mine in such a way so that it leaves a hole in the ramp. So as you can see here, in this position, oh, actually, yeah. So as you can see, there's this tiny gap here. So even though there's a gap, yeah, here's the miner is still able to keep going to the left. But he's going to stop due to the steel here once he reaches it, and that will cause him to turn around and then fall from one of these 1 pixel holes that was made from the miner tunnel. Okay, now we have the lemming going in the right direction to release the crowd. So now all that's left to do is bash the one-way wall, and that's it. So before seeing this trick, yeah, the low was a bit difficult. But once you realize this, yeah, then the rest of the low is easy. It's easy in the fact that like a lot of the skills are already like can automatically be placed when you're planning the solution. At least once you do the trick that's required with the bashing and sealing up that 1 pixel hole with the builder, so that no one else can follow him. Alrighty, next one. Tension 23, Dare to Share. This I thought was easier than the previous level.
Let's go.
Yeah, this one was definitely a much faster solve. At least for me it was. Okay, so the first lemming that reaches this gap here, he'll become a glider. And then the next one that comes up to this gap will be a builder to seal off the gap. And then one lemming will slip by, but he'll become the swimmer. Okay, this glider will pick up the stacker pickup. Okay, so I wait for the stacker to turn around. Okay, and then I start stacking. Okay, so due to the placement as a stacker, this will allow a miner from this area to keep going up through here. But I want to keep the miner going because we only have 2 miners. Yeah, this miner will be used to get to the exit, while the second miner will be to release the bottom left crowd. Okay, so to keep this miner going, it needs the stacker and the builder. Okay, and in the process, the first miner also took away the stack as well. Okay, so that will also allow the bottom left crowd to get through as well and into the exit. Okay, so I guess I took care of the first miner first. Okay, now that he's through, now we need to go ahead and prepare to release this crowd and this crowd. Okay, so I guess I wait for everyone to exit first. At least the ones that are able to. Okay, so with the last lemming that goes to the right, I make him build. Now all the stuff to do is to bash with the top right crowd. And then finally mine. So the builder is placed in such a way that this miner will continue to the bottom left crowd. Okay, and it also carves a hole in the builder staircase so that everyone can walk to the exit. Okay, and that's it. Alrighty, next one. Tension 24. Construct additional pylons. Okay, and if you're familiar with the reference, it's a reference to the game StarCraft, which I was a huge fan of back in the 2000s. And in particular, I absolutely love the Protoss race. It's probably my best race that I can play out of the other 3. I mean, out of the other 2. But overall, though, I'm generally not that good at the game itself, especially when it comes to multiplayer. And I don't really do multiplayer either.
Let's go.
Okay, so it's a pretty huge level, and as you can see scattered all across this level, there are some pickup skills that we need to get to within these pylons. Okay, so I start with this crowd right here by bashing them out. This is not splat height, so therefore, this is an entrance that can be released. Okay, and then with the second to last lemming for this entrance, I platform across. And then platform across again in order to get to this pickup. And for the skill set, yeah, you have plenty of builders and platformers, but and so it gives the impression that this level seems open-ended, but it really isn't. Okay, in this level you can't really afford to waste any of them. Okay, and then you go ahead and platform across again. Okay, and then I proceed to build up so that I can use the outer part of the pylon. And then I platform across again, so that requires 2. There's going to be a lot of waiting here, so spacebar is like the best friend here right now. Okay, platform across again. Because I believe for the most part I just use one lemming to do most of the work. Platform across again. Okay, build up. And then build up again. And then shortly before reaching the outer part of the pylon, I platform across. And then platform across again. So now we have access to this digger pickup. Okay, platform across. And then build up. Okay, and then I build up. And then platform across. Okay, now I'll go ahead and create a platform for this entrance by platforming across. Okay, and the platform for this crowd right here is right here. So this crowd is okay as well. Okay, and then the other lemmings that came back in the meantime, I platform across. So now that we can get to this pickup. Okay, and then I build up so that we can reach the exit. And then to get lemmings to the exit, we'll dig in the end. And then in the meantime, I platform across to get to this digger pickup. Okay, platform across and also build over here. Okay, and then platform across. So as you can see, we're already running pretty low on both builders and platformers. So you have plenty to start with, but now we're already running out pretty quickly. Okay, and then a lot more waiting. And then build up. And then platform across. Okay, platform across to make a platform for this entrance. Platform across to get to this basher pickup. Platform across to get to this basher pickup. And I haven't really seen anyone in the meantime, have I? No, I have not. Okay. Okay. So I believe I just played the waiting game here just to make sure that no lemmings are in danger. Yeah. Okay, now I start bashing out the crowds. Okay, so I think I time skipped a little too far back. Yeah, so once this basher picker was picked up, then I start bashing this crowd out, as well as this crowd. So it seems I'm doing a bit of multitasking here. And then with the lemming behind this basher, I platform across to make this platform for this entrance. So now they're safe. Okay, and then behind the platformer, I build up. And then, okay, yeah, I build again, and he was not able to hit his head, so he was able to seal the gap off. Okay, and then finally platform across. And then I did something else in the meantime. Oh, I dig the top crowd out. Okay, we will get the floater pickup. That's curious. When did I put this builder? Oh, I see. Never mind. Yeah, because of this way the builder's placed, yeah, it only allows them to reach the inner part of the crystal. Yeah, right there I was confused as to why the floater pickup wasn't collected yet. Okay, so as you can see, we've already used up all our builders and platformers. Okay, we only have bashers and a digger left and a floater. Okay, and I did something. Okay, I give this guy a floater. As a matter of fact, why was he there? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, he's the only lemming that's here and the only one that's in danger, so he needs a floater because this is definitely splat height. Okay, and then I release this crowd and also this crowd. And then I release the other entrances as well. The remaining entrances, I should say. Okay, and now all that's left to do is to dig to the exit, which we would do right here. And that's it. So it's a pretty huge level that looks pretty daunting. I know it was when I first did this level. And it can be pretty difficult. Yeah, especially as to where to place the your constructor skills, your platformers and builders. And like I said, you can't really waste them. As you can see, I ended up using all the skills. I don't think there's any solution that doesn't use all of them, but I could be wrong though. Alrighty, next one, tension 25. step up or don't. Okay, and then before I get into this level, let me just go ahead and load the replay first. Okay, and as you can see, there were a couple of back routes. That's why you see 3 replays here. Pretty much in the first one, I don't even collect the pickup skill. And then in the second one, it's pretty much the exact same solution as the first one, except I don't even use the what was it? Essentially, I use the climber, I believe. Yeah, or rather, I use the climber to get the pickup, but I still didn't use the miner. And so in this third one, I finally do use all the skills to Icho's liking. So before I let the low play out my solution, there's something that I wanted to point out because Icho and I had a pretty good discussion via the comments on my YouTube video. And that is, he answered my question as to whether the solid terrain and the background objects are consistent in the L2 tile sets in Neo Lemmings as they are in the Lemmings 2, the Tribes game. And the answer is there is a lot of inconsistency. So I'm glad he answered that question for me, because up until I got the answer, I was wondering whether there was consistency or not. And as I am one to prefer consistency, yeah, that things should be the same across multiple platforms if possible. So the reason why I point that out is because the last time I mentioned that the clouds in the Highland Tribe, those white clouds that you saw up in the high parts of the low, yeah, those were actually solid terrain. However, in other tile sets like this one, the shadow tile set, there are also clouds, but they are background. Yeah, they are not solid terrain. If I turn on CPM, for example, yeah, they just disappear, meaning they are solid terrain. I mean, not solid terrain, background. And so this is an example of inconsistency, where the clouds in one tile set are solid terrain, but the clouds in other tile sets are background. And so in the comments section, he and I seem to be in agreement that there should probably be some kind of animation, so as to show that they are indeed background objects rather than solid terrain. Because it was agreed that anything that has some kind of animation, those are considered background objects rather than solid terrain. But here, yeah, these are still background objects even though they don't have any kind of animation. So because of that, I may end up reporting that as a suggestion later on in the Lemmings forums. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and see the solution for this though. So the first lemming that reaches this wall here, I bash. Okay, and then I cancel him with a walker mid-stroke to create this step up. And then immediately upon reaching the outer part, I start building. And this builder, the base of the builder staircase adds another pixel of height so that lemmings can no longer step out. So this is very similar to the trick that's used in Mineshell, the one that we saw earlier in the video. It's just like a variation of it, you can say. Okay, so after building, platform across, and then platform across again. So a builder and 2 platformers are enough in order to get to the other side. Okay, and then I proceed to pick up the climber and the miner pickups, and then seal off the gap with the builder. And then in the process, he'll turn around, and then I make him a climber. And then I'll time skip this, and then he'll proceed to pick up the basher pickup. And this is the variable. Okay, and then I use the builder staircase to mine the crowd out. Okay, and by mining out that extra pixel that the builder staircase made, the crowd can now step up again. Okay, and finally all that's left to do is to bash the exit. And that's it. So, a small, short, and somewhat easy level. That is, if you realize this trick right here. of bashing and then canceling mid-stroke with a walker, and then using a builder to add a pixel to the height so that the lemmings cannot step out. Okay, next one. Tension 26. Let us out.
Let's go.
Okay, so with one of these lemmings here, I'm making a climber. Then platform across here to seal out this gap. This climber will pick up the, what was that? A digger pickup, and also the miner pickup. And then almost immediately after picking the miner, he's going to dig down. And then I should be building pretty soon. No. Okay, so I just let the digger fall down. Okay, and then after he falls down, I start building. And then he's a climber, so he's able to get to the exit. Okay, and then essentially to create the situation where here, the digger and the builder have to be placed pretty precisely in order to be able to mine through this builder staircase while creating a hole. So once I start mining, I clone him, who will use this builder staircase to mine out the crowd here. Okay, so at this point we only have cloners left. So they'll just be used on the miner each time it gets to the end of the tunnel in order to mine these pre-placed lemmings out. Okay, and that's it. Or at least near the end of the miner tunnel each time. Okay, tension 27. Step it down. Okay, this one I also found a back route to, where my first solution had several skills left over. So that's why you see 2 replays here. Oh, it ended up scrolling down, so I ended up double-clicking on the wrong file. Okay, so we start off with a pre-placed floater. Okay, and the biggest reason for that is because if you notice, in later Neo Lemmings versions, it now allows up to 10 skills. But this pack was made at a time when there was only space for 8 skills. And because these skills right here already take up 8, and we needed a floater, that's why this lemming is a floater, pre-assigned. So the first thing I do is I assign the pre-placed floater a climber. Okay, and then I send out another climber. Okay, and then I dig. Send out another climber, and send out yet another climber. Okay, and I released the climbers just in time, just before this became spot high, and before the digger broke through. Okay, and it also allowed a climber going back to the right to climb up again before the digger broke through. And that digger was in fact the pre-placed floater. Okay, and then these 3 lemmings will become swimmers. Okay, and then I start to mine the crowd up. Okay, and then let me see, what is this? Okay, here's the climber and the swimmer. Well, this is the climber, swimmer, and floater. Okay, so this is the pre-placed floater, I should say. Yeah, he's the one that I started bashing with. So 2 of the lemmings will go through, and then the one that fell back and went to the left will platform across, so as to make a landing platform for the crowd. And they will all walk out to the right instead of into the water. So the pre-placed floater will float down, while the one that's not a floater will platform across, as this is spot height. Okay, and then here we also need a platform because this is also spot height. So we do that by stacking. Okay, and he's already a climber, so he's able to get past the stack. Okay, and not only does this create a platform, this will also temporarily contain the crowd. Okay, and then the pre-place floater proceeds to pick up the swimmer pickup. Okay, he'll proceed to build, and the swimmer pickup will be given to this floater, who's not a swimmer. And I saved him just in time before he went underwater completely. Okay, and then all there's left to do is to platform across the trap here. And yes, the reason for the delay in assigning him the swimmer is because I needed the to give the pre-place floater enough time to platform across the gap. Okay, and then all that's left to do is to bash out the crowd by getting rid of the stack. And that's it. So, somewhat huge level that can look daunting, but it really isn't. I mean, it is daunting, but it gave the impression of a difficult level, but it's really not too hard. But at the same time, it's not easy either. Alrighty, next one. Tension 28. Backyard garden. And here we have a time limit of 55 seconds. Okay, this was a another roadblock for me. Yeah, here I ended up being stuck for a while. Okay, so we have a pre-placed lemming up here. Okay, with the first lemming that walks out to the right in the bottom crowd, I dig down so that they will land on this mushroom here. Okay, and then the first lemming that turns around here on this level will mine to the left to mine this crowd out. And this pre-placed lemming will place a platformer brick and then start digging down. Okay, now he's digging in such a way so that the center of the digger is on nothing. Okay, this will prove crucial, as we will see in a bit. Okay, this allows the other lemmings to walk to the exit. Now the trick here is this. Okay, because his center of the digger is on nothing, this allows when you assign it a bomber for the digger to start falling down. And then while he is in the ohno animation, he landed in front of the exit and is able to exit while exploding. Okay, so this is pretty similar to the behavior that I grew up with, because I grew up with the DOS version, and you decide to nuke the lemmings while they are walking to the exit. Any lemmings countdown that expired, you will hear the ohno sound, but the lemmings that I'm sorry, you won't hear the ohno sound, but lemmings that enter the exit when the countdown expires, basically what happens is that they will jump into the exit, and when the countdown expires, they will jump into the exit again. Okay, so even though the countdown has expired, the lemming is still safe. They don't explode. So I guess here it's kind of the same thing. Even though I kind of said that I kind of don't like this trick in Neo Lemmings, where lemmings that land in front of the exit while they are ohnoing can still exit and not explode. And I think the reason I said that is just the fact that it's really not the same thing, because in DOS, the lemmings are already jumping into the exit before the countdown expires. Here, however, they land in front of the exit while they are ohnoing, which is slightly different. So in a way, I kind of don't like this, but in any case, until I realized this trick, that's the reason why I was stuck here. Yeah, because clearly, since you have to say everyone here, I thought, hey, the bombers are useless, so why even provide them? But as it turns out, you do need one in order to get the digger into the exit. And it is needed because if you just let the digger just finish digging through, you're going to run out of time before it happens. So therefore, you must assign the bomber to the digger. And now that I know the trick and stuff, I thought, if I first encountered this level and even one bomber was just provided, I would probably still be stuck here. Because it still took me a while to see it anyway. Anyway, next level. Tension 29. Tomb of Icho Tolol. And I hope I said your name correctly, Icho. So please excuse me if I didn't.
Let's go.
Alrighty, so with the second lemming from each crowd, I block. And then the lemmings, the first lemming from each crowd, I give them floaters. Okay, and I make them both of them swimmers. Okay, and then I don't want to assign this lemming a climber yet, but I do assign this one a climber. And then I later give this one a climber. Okay, and they're both floaters, so they'll be able to survive this fall. Okay, and then I start building up with the first lemming that gets to this gap. Oh, and as you can see, pretty tall level. And we need to get down safely, of course. So, first lemming that gets here will stack. And once again, the fact that this level is tall, yeah, it does give the impression that this is a daunting level. It's really not that difficult, especially with an extremely limited skill set. And it's pretty obvious where the stackers go to. Yeah, at least the middle part here. Okay, and then the first lemming that comes back to the left here will start stacking. First lemming to reach here will stack as well. So it's just all about using stackers here to get up the level. Okay, and then bash. And they're both swimmers, so they'll be able to swim in the water without drowning. Okay, first lemming that gets to this gap will stack. Okay, bash. Stack. Okay, and then I bash the stack away while it's in progress to allow this lemming through. They will both fall down, and now we will use the left side of the level. Okay, bomb, and then stack. And as you can see, the stack is wide enough so that it covers this gap, and we are able to get over it. Okay, and then back to this middle part when we need to use another stacker in order for the crowd to get down safely. Okay, and then going back to the left, I stack here so that he can climb up. And then stack here so that he can get up again. Here should be climbable. Oh, or step upable. Yeah, which it is. And then bash across. And even if it isn't, he's a climber anyway, so he'll still be able to get up it. Okay, and then bash. And then bash again. And then when getting to this area right here, stack. And then finally, one last stacker here. Okay, now with all these stacks in place, now the crowd is able to fall down safely in the middle. Okay, and then I should proceed to bash them out. Then bash their blockers out, I should say. Okay, and I used the last lemming from this crowd first. Okay, and then I proceed to release this blocker from this side as well. Okay, and due to the spacing of the lemmings, I was able to, that allows me to bomb a lemming and go into the ohno animation. If that wasn't the case, then the safest bet is to always bomb a falling lemming so that it doesn't go through the ohno animation and just instantly bombs. Or expose, I should say. Okay, and then that is it. So all there's left to do is for me to use the basher for this lemming on this stack But I do that after the crowd passes through. Yeah. Which fortunately was in the nick of time so that he doesn't need to make another round here. Okay, and that's it. So, somewhat difficult level, but kind of made easier in the fact that a lot of the skill placements are somewhat automatic. At least the middle part is. Yeah, it's definitely very obvious that we need to use stackers there. Everywhere else, they're kind of not as obvious, but that's just where you have to like think about these things and see where these skill placements can be helpful when solving. Alrighty, and then the last level for this video, tension 30. Just do it up. Kind of a lot of pixel precise actions here. So in a way, I kind of wasn't too much of a fan of this, just because the solutions can be pretty fiddly. But that's probably because I overcomplicated my solution. And in any case, in Icho's United created commentary video, he thought he was showing off my solution, but it ends up being someone else's. So here's my solution. Yeah, so that Icho and anyone else who is watching knows what it is. So I've assigned the first lemming a climber. I explode him once he's high enough. Okay, one lemming will turn around. I give him the walker. Because in Neo Lemmings, walking off the sides is deadly. Lemmings will die if they do that. So essentially, going off the side is kind of like falling off the bottom of the level as well. Okay. And then I bash across. Okay, and then tricky part here. I think it is. Yes. So I send a climber up. And then while he's falling, I bomb. And then I send another climber up. And then I bomb the climber while he's climbing. But before he falls back down due to hitting his head. And then I send 2 more climbers up. And then with the lemming that's still climbing, I bomb him. And then the other lemming that reaches the top, I dig down. Okay, so this basically releases the digger due to the bomber removing the terrain. And then, not sure where the other climber came from. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's the one that dug and then got released. Okay, and then I pretty much do the exact same thing here. Okay, after falling, I bomb. Then release another climber. And then bomb him while he's climbing. But before hitting his head. And then release 2 more diggers. I mean, 2 more diggers. 2 more climbers. And then bomb one of them that's still climbing. And then the other one will proceed to dig. And will be released due to the terrain that got removed from the bomber. Okay, and then with the other climber that got released from his digging duties, yeah, I bomb him once he's high enough. And then all that's left to do is to bash. And that's it. So as a result, I have 2 climbers and then 3 diggers left over. Which is perfectly fine here. In any case, now that I think about it, I feel like my solution is a pretty complicated one. Just because it has a lot of pixel precise actions that I ended up doing in the solution. And it's also pretty difficult to see as well, so but at the same time, I think any solution to this level, they're all pretty difficult to spot anyway. As certainly it's kind of difficult to get up using just bombers and diggers and climbers. It's always pretty difficult when you're just giving those skills and you don't have any builders or stackers. Alrighty, so that was 10 levels. So the next time we will cover the remainder of the tension rank. So I will see you all next time for that.